Did you know if you combine a super cheap hot foil with some type of the thick adhesive like a medium gel, you will be able to turn any background into a stunning, beautiful piece which will elevate your card to the next level. My friends, this is such an incredibly beginner friendly and also a budget friendly technique that I just cannot wait to share this one with you. Here you had a little glimpse on a couple backgrounds I've created, and I'm starting from making my own background, working on a watercolor paper. Now, one thing I would like to say is that you don't really need to have the same supplies for coloring your background. Whether you're gonna use distress oxide spray, ink pads, watercolor paints, watercolor marker, anything you would like, it's up to you. You can also use some ready-made papers if you've got some design papers, or even if you ever create bunch of the blended ink backgrounds or something like that, and you have them, lying somewhere in your scrap pile, you can grab these and play with them as well. The idea for creating my own background, it actually came to me from a lovely video I've seen on Tiffany Solario YouTube channel. I will link her down below in the description area, and I highly recommend you to check her channel. I'm pretty much sure you're already familiar with it, but if you never seen it, I highly recommend you to check it, because Tiffany is doing a lot of the work with mixing inks and colors. So she is a true, artist who know her stuff, and she'll be able to give you way more advices than I am if it comes to this topic. Here, I am just total newbie. I am just splashing some color on the paper. I'm just adding a water and hoping for the best. But literally, I thought this was such a long time since last time I was playing with any like mixed media coloring, things like that, that I just wanted to have some fun. And plus, I'm gonna be making three different cards. I have it in my mind that I'm gonna be making different cards, and I want one of them to be masculine. So the color I'm choosing here are actually the combination which I think it will be looking good even for the masculine cards as well. Now, what I've picked is Stormy Sky, Brushed Corduroy, Frayed Burlap, Spackle Egg, Tattered Rose, Kitsch Flamingo, and Tarnished Brass. But as I'm saying, this is pretty much random combination of the colors I've picked. I thought this all will be looking nice, and I'm mainly concentrating working with Stormy Sky and Brush Corduroy. So this is this brown and blue color, and I'm just trying to create some sort of the depth and different layers, so when you look at the paper, it looks dimensional. I add a teeny tiny bit of this Kitsch Flamingo as well as tarnished brass, and this last layer I didn't actually wet as much, so I only end up having like a little sparkles rather than having this watercolor wash effect. And this is something you can also achieve playing with your watercolor paints or different, different other mediums. So as I'm saying, grab whatever you have, or even if you don't want to color your backgrounds, you can always reach for the one you already have in your stash, or some even old design papers. If you have something you haven't never used, definitely this is the time to bring them on. Lastly, once I'm happy with my coloring, I am adding a couple of the droplets, and I will be lifting the color gently using the piece of the kitchen towel, just so I could have this kind of like a splatter effect. Last thing I'm gonna do with the background, and this is something I always like to do when I kind of moist the paper. Once I'm drying it out with the heat tool, I am placing this box and something heavy on top of it, and I just leave it for a few minutes. Here, I just went downstairs, I make myself another cup of coffee, and once I come back, this paper is absolutely flat, because once we heat it up and place some heavy object on top of it, this act as an iron and create this nice smooth effect, and the paper is just without any warp warping anymore. So here you can see this beautiful background, and I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but this is such an amazing background. There's so much going on, different colors, different kind of splatters and splashes. I'm absolutely in love with this. Here I'm gonna be creating my own card bases, and what I have is DL size card from the same watercolor paper I've used for the background, another slightly larger, and this is gonna be A5, so like 15 by 21 centimeter, and one more card I will create because I'm gonna end up with this little strip at the end. This is gonna be like 4 by 5.5 inches, something like that. Here, one thing I would like to show you is this DL size envelope, and this is why I like to trim my cards slightly smaller. So just like a 1 millimeter from the side and either on the bottom or on the top, so that way whenever I put some dimensional layers, embellishment, I always have some additional room in my envelope, so the card is fitting nicely. So here I'm grabbing my background and I'm trying to decide how to divide it into different pieces. And this is one advice I actually took from Justin Hovey. She recently, she was talking about it on a card making stash summit, but she also posted some reels on her Instagram and on a YouTube channel and this is such an amazing advice. And I really think this is worth saying, that if you create some type of the background, she was speaking about the stencils, but even here, if you're creating like colored background, like with ink sprays, things like that, it's always worth to grab a bigger pieces of the paper you work on, and then you can divide it and create few cards instead of just one, especially that it takes some time to create the background like that. So I highly recommend you to use like A4 size paper or two smaller one if you have, and just create more than one piece on the go, because you already have all the materials out. You already have your mat, you already have your inks, watercolor paints, whatever it is you're using, and that way you will have more to create your cards. Here, because I had this full page A4 size, I divided it into two cards, and then this is a third last small card I am making, and this one I'm actually using a piece of the scrap paper which I found in my drawer, but I quite like it because it has this nice linen effect, this lovely texture. I thought it will be looking great for the card when I combine it with this lovely background. So here you can see all three ideas. Like I'm not going to be finishing those cards today. This will be a part for the next video, but I'm just getting them ready for my technique. And this is something I just wanted to share in this video. And this is the main part of the video itself, but I just wanted to show you the process I'm working on the background, just in case someone would like to see it. How did I create it? How I come up with this background? So for this last like this middle largest card, I am tearing the paper in half, and I've put the other half of the paper on the side because I'm gonna use it later. And here is the thing, you can also try this technique with just a regular glue, but when you have this thick, like a medium gel consistency, so the adhesive which looks like the texture paste, this is gonna give you far better result, because you will have those little lumps and glue clumps on the paper, which something which you don't, which the liquid glue, it's not gonna give you the same result. And here I am just using very inexpensive makeup sponge, and I'm just dabbing this glue, and I'm making sure I'm actually leaving those like a glue blobs you can see here. So I'm not pressing and taking off the adhesive like entirely. I'm just trying to leave a little bit here and there, and obviously I'm trying to keep it like random, and I'm not covering the entire page with the glue, just here and there, and making sure that a little bit of the adhesive stays on the card as well. And one more thing I've just realized once I was looking on this video, when I'm recording the voiceover, when I put this glue with the spatula on this little stamping block, I actually had this another idea to try to put this glue through the some sort of a stencil, and this is something I'm also needing to try to create the background this way, so I will have some sort of the pattern created from the stencil. So here I've added the adhesive to all three pieces. And one thing, when you work with the glue, make sure that you wipe the surface straight away. If you've got it on your desk, on your mat, or on your spatula, something, just wipe it off straight away, because later on you will have to scrub it out. So it's so much easier to clean it up as you go. Here I have this piece of the blue color foil, which I thought it will be matching with the color of the design paper. So I am kind of chopping the size which is matching with my paper, and then I am placing it on top of the of this background with my adhesive on top of it. And this is such a easy thing to do. You don't really need a lot, and when you press, you don't push it too hard. Do not try to smear the glue. You rather want to gently press from the top, so you're not gonna end up with this flat, flatten up your adhesive entirely. One thing I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna be using my hot glue gun because I am impatient. You can probably leave it to dry naturally. You will end up even if the better result, I think. But here I am just trying to press in the area where I know where I have this adhesive on underneath, and then I am just heating it up, so I'll make sure that the glue will dry up faster. But as I'm saying, if you don't have the access to heating tool, that's fine. Just leave it to dry out naturally and you'll be good to go as well. So I am gently pressing with my fingers, and I'm just checking whether the adhesive underneath is dry, and I'm kind of pushing the foil through so it will adhere to this area. One place I was keeping my heat tool too close for a second, and I actually end up having a little hole in the foil, but nothing happened, so it wasn't really, too much damage done. But I've just make sure that the adhesive will dry quickly because I was so impatient to see the result. And here I am just taking off this foil, and oh my word, look on that, we have this beautiful marble effect. And this is actually, there are some papers on the market you can buy with this like a golden extra cover on top of this like a marble effect background, but here you can create it on your own, and this is for a fraction of the price. The roll of the foil, which I think I've bought mine on the Amazon, but that was ages ago. This will last you for so many backgrounds. This is actually the foil I've bought for the Mink machine, but I'm not using it as much. My laser printer got broke, I think it was like 3 years ago or something, and I haven't been using it since. So I'm so happy I actually heard Justin Huvish, who was speaking about these foils. It was one of the questions on the morning coffee on the card making stash summit. What's the difference between the foil, this hot foil, and a glimmer foil? And then I just remember myself, I have a drawer filled of this different type of the foils, like different colors, and I just wanted to try and play with them. So here, once I release the first layer, you can then see if you have any gaps, if there are some spaces you would like to have more of the foil on. And also another thing you can do here, and I will be doing it on this smallest strip, you can mix and match the foil. So firstly I add the blue color one, and now I am putting the gold one on top of it. And for the other two pieces I am just adhering the same foil back again, because there is still plenty of the gold material on this foil, so do not throw them away. Once you use them once, you can reuse them over and over again. If you still got some gold underneath, this is something you can do. And then if you have those teeny tiny bit leftovers, what you can do, what I would actually do, I would take a piece of the double-sided like a adhesive sheet, and then place it there and release it, so you're gonna be using all the gold from your foil. And then for the rest of this sticky, adhesive area you have, you can cover them with either some glitter, or maybe some like a what is it, like a pigment powders, things like that, so it's not gonna be sticky anymore, and that way you will end up with this beautiful shine effect as well. And here, just have a look on these beautiful backgrounds. These are super amazing. And one thing I would like to say, because we use this medium gel, there are some like lumps from the glue visible. This is not only beautiful and shiny, but this is also very textural and dimensional. And here I really like this combo when you have two different foils together. So a little close-up look. The video is already long, so I will be creating a second part when I finish off this beautiful backgrounds. But for now, I just want to say thank you, and I hope to see you shortly. If you enjoyed this video and technique, please give it a like, and please click a share button to let your friends know. Maybe someone else will also enjoy the technique. Happy crafting everyone, and bye bye.